Hi there. Welcome back. It is Advent week 2, and we are glad to be back together. Pastor Chris, Pastor Todd, back for another conversation. Our scripture this week comes from one of my favorite parts of scripture that gets to introduce one of my favorite characters. I like him because he's loud, he's brash, he eats locusts and honey.
He's smelly.
He's smelly.
Camel.
Smelly, that's right. He is he doesn't mince his words. He's John the Baptist. And in the midst of political turmoil, ordinary life, there's some governors are mentioned, emperors are mentioned, high priests, all the noise of the world. And then we get this loud voice coming from this wild prophet saying, "Prepare the way, make straight the paths." What does that even mean?
I don't think he was very popular.
No.
Probably not.
Mm-mm.
Probably not very popular. But what we're talking about today during this Advent is not about being perfect, it is about clearing space. So here's a fun question for you. All right?
We'll judge that.
Yeah.
We'll let you know.
All right, if John the Baptist were to walk into Owatonna today,
Hmm.
wearing his sackcloth and eating his locusts and honey, what would he tell us to clear out?
Hmm. All I can think of is how I haven't put away the dishes in my dishwasher. I
Okay.
haven't cleaned that out yet. Maybe I need to work on that more. I need a personal John the Baptist
Okay.
in my house.
That's what you want
Okay.
to do?
Actually, that might be Laurel. I'm not quite sure. She doesn't eat locusts though, so
That's probably good.
not yet. Yeah.
Good. I think he would tell us to get out of our own way, to set ourselves. I mean, we live in a world right now where things just feel like we're centered on ourselves and what the world is for us. And I think we just get in the way. I mean, we do that, and that blocks our view of other people that are in need or other people that are um, that are that we can help. And we don't see those things because we're too busy thinking about the stuff in ourselves. So I think if John the Baptist walked in, he'd say, Todd, just get out of your own way. Quit thinking about yourself. Start thinking about the people around you more, and
Okay.
it would get at some of those things.
Okay.
Yeah, I would. I'll go a different route on this too. Clearing the way is implying that something's coming or someone's coming, and
Okay.
I'm curious, like, who are the people coming? Or who is coming? Like in this case, God's coming to the people. But in what ways are people coming?
So it's kind of like shovel the snow.
Yeah.
Get it out of the way.
Yeah, let's get it out of the way. Let's clear it
Yeah.
away.
I like that.
Okay. I like that too. I had an identity angle on it. And maybe a little bit of getting out of your own way. Um, but clearing the way, making space, like the idea that I'm only worth what I produce.
Mm.
And so letting go of some of the things that I think I need to be doing allows me to give focus to the things that are coming or to the people who are need. Well, maybe that goes along with what you were saying. I'm getting out of my own way, or
Well, and the things that John the Baptist would say, the things that we should be doing,
right.
Right.
right? I mean, there's shoulds in the world,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean, we should be loving and caring and doing all those kinds of things.
Yeah.
There are shoulds in the world. There are things that we should be doing, that we often don't see because we tend to focus on ourselves,
Sure.
or on the things that are our concerns instead of the things that are the concerns of others.
So how do you figure that out when you are looking around and you're seeing all the things that people are doing,
Right.
and you start to compare, like, well, all these things need to be done because so-and-so is doing this, or I see I got to do it this way. I got to do it that way. I've got to get all my shopping. I think sometimes, how do we decide which shoulds get our attention?
That is a fantastic question for Chris to answer.
Here we go. But to start the answer for all of us to answer together, I think maybe like figuring out what our identity is,
Mhm.
right? Like maybe it's a case of misplaced identity since we've been talking about that.
Yeah.
If we are children of God, right? How does that help us to see our role within the world always, compared to like some of those other things like I really should do X, Y, and Z versus as a child of God, I am doing X, Y, Z.
Mhm.
As a child of God, I am loving my neighbor. Um, or at least in part, John the Baptist is pulling people out into the wilderness where historically, right, people have met God out in the wilderness
Mhm.
where everything seems barren, where the Israelites learned about their own identity, who they were as a people. And now John the Baptist is doing the same thing. And I'm curious, you know, how are we as members of Trinity or as members of
Mhm.
Owatonna, how we're finding and sculpting that identity.
Right. Well, and I wonder, where is our wilderness?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, wilderness is a place that feels in some ways unsafe. I mean, just that word, right?
Yeah.
You go out there, there's risk, there's challenge, there's all those kinds of things. What is that? So for us who live in a world of relative comfort in Owatonna, Minnesota, what does our wilderness look like?
Yeah.
Where do we experience that? Those places that we can encounter God in that way. Which is a great question for Amanda to answer.
Yeah, that's
Notice why I keep
well,
doing
yeah, we'll just
keep
keep
saying you're
Right?
I'll go over here.
I don't know. Our wildernesses are all varied.
Mhm.
Those places where, oh, you feel, wilderness could have a couple aspects to it, right? Less cluttered. A wilderness is wide open and there's space for us to recognize God. And it's not cluttered with all sorts of stuff, but then there's also the feeling in wilderness of feeling lost and not knowing which way you're going, and having to truly rely on God as your guide or a compass that points you towards true north. And if that true north is grace, love.
Mhm. Well, and John the Baptist called people out of comfort.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, there was a discomfort
Yeah.
when he would say, "Oh, ye brood of vipers." I mean, yeah, that's I mean,
Yeah.
he was calling us into something that isn't completely comfortable. Um, and it makes me wonder a little bit about what is God calling us to? Is it to set aside some of the comfort
Mhm.
and step into a little bit of the risk? I mean, and I don't mean risk like in a dangerous kind of a way, but risk in a we're stepping into something new, we're stepping into something not completely comfortable kind of a way.
So how do you prepare your heart for stepping into something uncomfortable?
Right?
You create space, right? That's kind of what we've been talking about, right? You create space within yourself. Um, what that might look like, I don't know. Prayer.
Mm.
Uh, uh, one of my favorite quotes that I've encountered recently is from a book called "Riding the Dragon." It's really a fun, catchy title. But he talked about a moment when he was at his lowest, and he took that to mean like part of his house, right? So he was like, if I'm in my spiritual house and I'm at my lowest low, as long as I'm in the basement, I might as well take a look around.
Mm.
And I think of that as a way of saying, maybe it's a way of preparing our hearts is to take a look around at what's in our heart. Um, where are those gifts, that need to be pulled out of the box to risk a little, to do a little change? What things need to be tidied up?
You have to be willing to go to the basement
You have to be willing to go to the basement, yeah, or trip down there.
or trip down there. Exactly.
Well, I could see that especially coming up with Christmas time and or holiday season when you're around a lot of family. At any time you're around a lot of family, inevitably there's tension because families are complicated. And sometimes you need to check in with yourself before all those relationships come in, especially if there's some tense relationships or people that you're struggling with at the holidays, centering yourself in prayer before people arrive, centering your heart and making space for, okay, this is going to be hard. I don't particularly get along with these people or one person or some of them. Well, I
And
just
it depends what they say.
conflict
Yeah.
Right.
and just giving yourself some space to say, okay, I'm not going to react. I'm just going to, how can I be as loving as possible and gracious?
And to be open and not let our first reaction be defensive.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. We're preparing the way. It doesn't really always, it's not that heroic. It's not about big heroics. It's actually, it's simple moments of checking in with yourself too.
Mhm.
And it's kindness in a season that can sometimes feel sharp. And when God's message comes to us and says, prepare the way, make the straight paths, it's about opening space for grace
Mm.
wherever you may need it. Well, I think this has been fun. Thank you.
I appreciate the
Edifying.
conversation.
Yeah.
We didn't answer all the questions of the world. We've left some for next week.
Right.
So we will see you next week for our third week of Advent. Thanks for being here. Hi. Too much? Well, hello.
You are making the blooper reel.